Hello everybody, Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelorette Recap, a Guy's Review. We've got Dale Moss with his first interview that I'm aware of since getting back together with Clare Crawley. Of course, Dale was Clare's premier pick on this past season of Bachelorette, and they left after only several weeks of dating, got engaged, broke up after that, and then back together. It was a wild ride. It took us to Rosebud's Steak and Seafood in Florida. We followed them with some paparazzi videos back in New York, road trips, and a lot going on. So he's going to talk about Bachelor being the best decision of his life. As you can see from the title here, addressing the cheating rumors, and talks about his status with Claire. Are they back together, as far as fiancés, or what's the deal? What is the deal? So let's play that. We'll react to it. And this is from the Hollywood Raw podcast. Go give them a follow, a subscribe on YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts. It's an interesting conversation. We don't learn too much, but I got to respect the fact that he doesn't dish too much. I got to respect the fact he's trying to honor his relationship and not share too much. Let's play this right here.
I don't know. It was the best decision of my life. One of the best decisions of my life, without a doubt.
Going on the show was one of the best decisions of your life.
Yeah, I think
really?
without a doubt. Like, and I haven't talked a lot about the relationship, and neither has Claire. And and with us, we're really, really focused on one another and just building things properly. And it's been great during this time, but even reflecting back, like I've gotten the question so many times, like, do you regret it? Would you change anything? I wouldn't change anything for the world. I've grown so much throughout this, have challenged myself. I met one of the most amazing people I've ever met in my life. And whether there's challenges or not, it's one of those situations. While obviously, we're not talking publicly about our situation, and we'll do that in due time, but we love and care about one another. And, I've just grown a lot from the entire experience. I've learned a lot about how to handle myself in stressful situations. You learn a lot about media. I mean, everyone talks about like preparing for, going on the show and what happens after. Obviously we're doing it in a pandemic as well. And you just got to live and you got to learn a little bit, Well,
can you confirm that you guys are in fact back together? Because that's the big rumor. We've seen photos of you guys out in New York and kind of kissy and.
Yeah, I want to say this. This will be my only interruption, I think. But I love that the interviewers try on like 15 different occasions to get him to talk more, and they're like, all right, final question, and then they keep bringing it up, and I don't hate them for it. They're trying to get a great soundbite. They're trying to get some info. They're not going to get it, but you can still tell by the tone. I mean, I don't know, I've kind of flipped on Dale. I like Dale and Claire trying to work it out. Be flawed, try to work it out.
Yeah,
that, and everyone's been speculating, are they together? Are you guys?
Yeah, so I mean, we've never hid throughout this entire time that we've been around each other, or like we're not going and like trying to hide out from people and wear a mask and a hoodie and sunglasses. So we've definitely taken time and we're spending time together. Claire and I are like, we're in a good place, and when the time's right, we'll definitely talk about all those things. But again, for right now, we're just focused on one another. And we're keeping things private, and that's working for us. And in due time, we'll speak about that together.
Does she still wear the engagement ring?
Claire still has the ring and all the things. So
ring and all the things.
No, but I with anything, and this is what I've always said. As we work through things, like if we're together, we're together. If we're not, we're not. And again, we haven't talked about anything publicly, and I'm not going to go into details on everything, just because again, we'll do that when we're together. And but again, we're just in a good place, and just like with every relationship, we're just working through things and supporting one another, and just taking it as it comes.
Well, we're rooting for you guys.
We're rooting for you guys.
A lot of Bachelor Nation is. We want to see you guys succeed. At the end of the day, that's what it really comes down to.
Everyone wants to see a good ending.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. Like everyone's like, oh, like there's this top secret mission. Like, what's going on? You guys are hiding out. You're trying to keep this from us. No, we're like, we're just living life and we're doing it and being present with one another. And it's been great to be able to go about it that way. And again, the question's going to come up all the time, and everyone will know in due time. So we'll see.
The one last thing I was gonna ask about that you know,
Last thing.
there's been a lot of stories, and listen, I don't know if they're true or not. There's been a lot of stories about the distance being difficult for you guys, her in LA, you in New York. I did see her post a video. It looked like it was inside of an empty apartment in New York. Is there any chance of her moving to New York?
I mean, I can't speak for Claire on any of those things. But, so again, like, we're just taking things as they come, and you know, who knows? That, like, right now, again, we're just taking time and focusing on one another, and everything else will work itself out.
Awesome.
You guys had the little bit of a, obviously you guys had the little bit of a breakup. There was a little bit of he say, she say. It was a whole, like, kind of weird thing. How did you guys kind of kindle? How did that kind of come back to, you know, the core and say, hey, you know, there's something there?
Yeah, I mean, with everything that occurred, and again, like, I'm not going to go into too many details on all those things. Like,
we know
at the base foundation, no matter what anyone says, no matter what social media and stuff tries to portray, or media, you know, how certain things went out, like, Claire and I, like, love each other. We love each other tremendously. That was never a question. You know, that's always been the clearest and most understood thing with us from the beginning. And I think just with any situation in any relationship, if you love and care for someone, regardless of what happens, you know, if it's meant to be, you'll find yourselves back together at some point. And I truly believe that. So I think that's, like, the answer for a lot of things. And I don't know, I'll just leave it at that.
Last question. The last time we saw you on TV together, you two were engaged. Do you still consider yourself an engaged guy?
I mean, I'll just say again, like, Claire and I are in a good place. We're just focused on one another, and
in a good place.
You know, when we're together, we'll talk about those things collectively, and just leave it at that.
All right, cool. So wait, I want to also go into how you ended up on The Bachelorette.
Well, hold on. I got a question that we need to get to, because we were talking about modeling, and then we got into Claire, because there was a very famous modeling shoot that you did that made a lot of rounds, and it wasn't the Nike brands. It wasn't the, you know, Hilfiger, the other stuff. Tell me more about the photo shoot you did for the Halloween costumes, because I saw it on, like, TMZ and everyone.
That's the bane of my existence. And a lot of people actually have those, and I never thought it would see the light of day. It was something that was internal.
Every model's done
and
these photos.
I remember when I went for it, it was like, I thought it was like a Broadway costume type situation, and and then I showed up.
Well, there was Spartacus there.
Yeah, well, I showed up and it was something completely different. I was 3 hours outside of the city, and I was like, what the hell am I going to do right now? But I remember taking the job, like, at that stage, you know, my family was even going through some stuff, and I was like, whatever, I'll take this. It's paying really well for, you know, only a few hours. But I took that gig, and I literally cringe every time I see it, and I have for years. That was like 4+ years ago. And after I did it the one time when we ran through some things, I was like, I'm not doing this again. But I will say, like, at that stage in the game, like, whatever, like, Party City helped pay my parents' rent for about 5 months. And
if the money was good, then it was worth it. You're the best looking taco man we've ever seen.
Hey, one thing, and this is what you learn about social media and everything, like, if you can't lean into something and make fun of yourself, then, you know, you're going to have some difficulty with those things. But it's whatever the case, it's a part of life. I've done a lot of other ones that I'm way more proud of. But at the end of the day, it's funny. If you can poke fun at yourself, it's all good things.
You're not the only one.
All good things if you can poke fun at yourself. I like Dale in this interview. Obviously, he's not going to give too much info. Respect the man for that. Respect that. Absolutely. but very, very, very happy with the kind of vibe he's given off. I know some people, the haters in the comments, say, "Oh, Claire's more into Dale than Dale's into Claire." Who the hell are we to know? Who are we to know? With a situation like this, two parties, Claire and Dale, trying to figure themselves out. All I can do is root them on. The hell do I care about it? I don't have any cynicism with regards to if they make it or don't. I wish them all the best. Invite me to the party, Dale. What do you say? Open-toed shoes? Let's do a wedding. What do you got? All right, 4836. Let's go to 4836 here. He addresses the cheating scandal. We'll play this, and then we will get into a few other topics here with regards to Claire moving out of her place.
There was a lot of obviously rumors flying around there. You kind of briefly touched on the rumors of infidelity. Like, how did these rumors make you feel? Did they hurt your relationship at all?
Yeah, I mean, that everybody's a source, but like that was never a conversation. Even at when we went through our split, it wasn't even a thing. That is something that people would like sit on. It was never even a topic of conversation. And I've heard and talked to a lot of people on previous seasons, and they said the number one thing that caused a lot of difficulties is everybody's a source. Like, who are these sources coming from? Because we're not saying anything. And you got to really look past that and just really focus on one another. But I mean, that sucked, because when things are going at your character and something that you're completely against, those are the hardest things to really handle. And I thought more than anything about where I grew up in South Dakota. I love where I grew up. And since the time I was in middle school, high school, through college, have worked with so many kids in the community, was a star athlete throughout. And when I go home, like pre-show, anything, everybody knows me and my family. And we worked really hard to build a name and respect and to carry ourselves properly. So that's something that stung the most, but it was short-lived. I mean, at the end of the day, like, I go to bed at night and not sweat about like whether those things were truthful or not, because that's not my character.
Couldn't believe him any more. Absolutely. I believe everything he's saying. Totally. I like Dale. Don't prove me wrong, Dale. I'm a fan. I really am. I had people actually write in, leave comments. Some people think I've been extra harsh on Claire. Let's see if I can find that comment. I've been a fan of Dale and Claire all along, and I've understood that they're kind of like in a messy place, as far as the way they handled their breakup and got back together. Of course, it was toxic. It almost feels like their relationship has been saved, even though it had that little tragic experience. It's like if you ever got in a car crash and didn't wear a seatbelt and you came out of it unscathed. Afterwards, you're like, I'm going to wear a seatbelt from now on. Well, I hope, weird analogy, but I hope Dale and Claire realize whatever their communication issues are, like, let's take things slow, let's breathe, go walk the dog after a fight, really calm down, get off social media, and be private. And it feels like they're doing that. No, but I've talked about Claire's anxiety issues, and so has she. She's talked about the anxiety from the show, kind of how she's targeted some of the guys. Why aren't you talking to me? You're not, she's kind of, her issues with Yosef. Obviously, he was a huge issue, but she was kind of like stressed out. She would get stressed out and razzled, and that's what to expect if you're like an introvert and you're put into this reality dating show. But I'll play a comment I got from someone who thinks I'm not being fair to Claire. So let's play this voicemail.
This is Octavia again. Disagreeing with you about Clare Crawley. You sound misogynistic in a big way, because you're always, most of the time, on the guy's side. And I'm noticing this over and over. So, you know what? Some of these women have really, really gotten some problems with these men that they're choosing for The Bachelor. And so, you know what? You need to look at the woman's side of things, especially Clare Crawley. At least she's saying something. This guy that she's talking about, Matt James, he's a player. I mean, and she recognized it right off the bat. So did I. So that's what you need to look at. He's a player.
Thank you for the call. So so you're talking about the fact that Clare Crawley, posted an emoji after someone said, hey, Claire was right all along. Matt James is a scumbag. Look, a broken clock's right twice a day. I don't think Claire had any idea what Matt James was going to be like, and I don't think we can properly even judge Matt James for the season that he's had. So to say that, I don't know if you've watched any of my other content, but I think I've been a pretty good cheerleader for Clare Crawley. You left another voicemail. Let's play it.
About Katie, when there's such a message about Clare Crawley, you continue to say bad things about her and diss her. You know what? I think you need to look at the host situation. I don't think you need to just look at the guy's side, like I said earlier. Look at the woman's part in this. So you have this thing like, oh, I look at both sides. Okay, look at the woman's side of this. Okay, look at what's happening. The men they're choosing for The Bachelor, the last three. Hookers.
Yeah, I agree. The guys have been bad on The Bachelor. Peter Weber, Colton Underwood, these were bad picks for The Bachelor. Matt James, of course. With Matt James, though, with all due respect, like, we don't know how that relationship would have played out if there wasn't such a dumpster fire of the media and this and that. But I wouldn't say that I'm anti-Claire at all. There's obviously people that they choose from Queen Victoria to some of these real toxic characters that are bad regardless of the gender. I don't quite understand your voicemail, but I did want to play it because you called me misogynistic, but in a good way. I didn't know there was a good form of misogyny. But anyway, I like your accent at the very least. What is it, Oklahoma? What's the accent? Very cute. All right, so let's go into this last part about Clare Crawley. Claire has a lot of questions about why she's moving. And this is actually a fascinating, quick 30-second video of a stalker situation she's dealing with.
Okay, so this one's actually a really good one. It might be a long-winded one, but I feel like if you've made it this far in the Q&A, it's kind of a crazy story. So I actually don't know how much I can or should say about this because it's still in like legal stuff, but essentially it was like a year-long stalker situation, and last month my house went into, and so yes, I am in the process of moving.
That's, first of all, wild. We wish her the best. I hope she's okay. Moving to New York or moving out of your place, either way, it's a real terrible situation that you've got to move as the victim of a stalker situation. As you guys know, with Colton Underwood's situation, we've been talking about this nonstop. Lots to talk about there, but I did want to share that a little clip from Clare Crawley. So at the very least, I'm very happy for them. I'd like to keep following their relationship as they maybe make the engagement official again. Is this a diamond ring on there? That looks like a rock to me. I can't really tell. Oh, she's so cute. Can you believe this? Looking great at 40 years young. Dale Moss. Look, you know, you're going to be experiencing new things that you never experienced on the gridiron. Dating can be complicated, especially when you throw in the national spotlight. And it looks like you guys took a little while to get your sea legs about you, but enjoy the ride and enjoy the sun as you sail. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. The point is, I'm happy for you guys. I wish you guys the best. And while we didn't get too much information from that interview, it's always good to hear from Dale. Did I share this one yet? We had one in here. I had Dale's foot photo. He's on Wiki Feet now. I guess I didn't post it. It was a weird one anyway. What's that? Oh, there it is. Look, I found it. Like, we'll end on a high note here. Big thanks to Wiki Feet. They put Dale Moss in there. They got his birth date. His star rating is 4.45 out of 5. Nothing less for the Egyptian toe. Speaking of Egyptians here, no, that's not a thing. All right, folks. Well, we got to get out of here. Have a good one. Happy Friday. Leave a comment. My vlog channel is live. I got 3 videos up. Congrats. We just hit 1,000 subscribers on the vlog channel. Go check that out. Link below. Bye now.